Good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
So we will today start the new chapter, marginal costing. And believe me, marginal costing would be a chapter which you will love even more than the standard costing. Okay? Because most of the things in the marginal costing, most of the questions are like giving an aptitude test every time. So have you ever solved any kind of puzzles, or has any one of you given any time and any aptitude test?
No.
Then this is a time now you will be giving it, because it's like giving an aptitude test in itself. The chapter is such that absolutely logical things you will conclude, and it's purely based on how you analyze the things in your brain. So I'll tell you. We'll first discuss in brief what the marginal costing is all about, and then we'll come to the presentation, and then we'll go with the questions. So marginal costing basically is not any different method. What are the methods of costing? Anyone of you remember? What are all the methods of costing that we studied?
Unit and batch costing.
Yes. Unit costing, batch costing, job costing, contract costing, process costing, service costing, various methods. Okay. So is marginal costing another method? No. Then what it is? I'll tell you. It is a technique rather than a method. And basically, when you are selecting any type of technique combined with method for implementing costing system for your entity, you will first decide upon whether you have to go by absorption costing or whether you have to go by marginal costing. So broadly, there are two techniques. One is absorption costing and one is marginal costing. Yes, there is activity-based costing, but which is again basically absorption costing itself in a little different format. So that means that takes us to one basic thing, that marginal costing is necessarily different from absorption costing. How it relates to method, I'll tell you in a simple words. Suppose if your industry is such or your manufacturing is such that a job costing is the most suited, the best suited is the job costing for you. In that case, you will go for job costing, but you will decide whether by absorption method or whether by marginal method. So I'm saying marginal costing can be used along with one of the methods which you are anyway using, which is entity specific method. But marginal costing is not entity specific. It can be used for any entity. Only thing is the concept is completely different from absorption costing. Okay. So how it is different from absorption costing? Now you have to tell me whether absorption necessarily related mainly, primarily with the variable cost, or it related mainly with the fixed cost when it comes to absorption. हम absorption जो करते हैं वो generally fixed cost का करते हैं. You should agree on this, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling you, be it absorption costing or be it marginal costing, whenever the question is about prime cost, is prime cost completely variable always?
Yes.
Yes. So when it comes to prime cost, means when it comes to direct material, when it comes to direct labor, when it comes to direct expenses for that matter, there is no difference between standard cost. Sorry, there is no difference between absorption costing and marginal costing. So let me say it again. When it comes to the prime cost, because which is purely variable cost, be it absorption costing or be it marginal costing, there is absolutely no difference. Only when it comes to the fixed cost, there is a difference. So what is this difference we should discuss? The difference is basically is that under absorption costing method, there were fixed expenses which had no relationship with the product. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
So basically we can say that there are generally two types of cost. One is a product cost and one is a period cost. A product
Yes.
cost is one that changes with the output. Period cost is one that does not change with the output. It changes periodically over the period, over the years it changes. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'm saying in a way that, I mean, if generally we have to say, we can generalize this as variable cost is a product cost and fixed cost is a period cost. Generally, is it correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So in the case of marginal costing, what we are going to do is, now in absorption costing, what we did, under absorption costing, even fixed expenses, even the fixed overheads, didn't we charge fixed overheads to the cost of the product? Yes or no? We charge
Yes.
all the production overheads, even fixed ones, to the product cost of the product, didn't we?
Yes.
And how we did that? We used a predetermined rates for that. So we had a budgeted thing. We budgeted the level of output, the level of hours or whatever it is. And we budgeted, we estimated the fixed overheads and we arrived at a absorption rate and we started absorbing as and when we produced. So at the end of the period, when the actual overheads are compared to what is absorbed, it led to either under absorption of overheads or over absorption of overheads. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So under marginal costing, that is precisely not what we are going to do. We are going to do away with the absorption simply. Means we will treat a period cost as a period cost. So what we are going to do is, our cost sheet will be completely different type of a cost sheet, wherein we first focus only on the variable cost, and even while valuing WIP, even while valuing fixed finished goods, we will not include fixed overheads into it. So valuation of inventory will be necessarily different under absorption costing and marginal costing. You must agree on this. So for example, under absorption costing, you will include fixed production overhead in the value of WIP, yes or no?
Yes.
Even in the value of finished goods, you will include that fixed overheads. Yes?
Yes.
Even admin overheads related to the production, we included in the value of finished goods. Only
Yes, sir.
general admin expenses and selling and distribution expenses we did not include. But under marginal costing, our valuation of inventory itself will be purely at a variable cost. So that is necessarily means our value of WIP as well as value of finished goods will be at variable production cost. So fixed production overheads, if any, will have no place in the valuation of inventory. First thing you should understand. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So the question is whether we are talking only about the valuation of inventory and that is the only difference between absorption and marginal. No. The entire approach is different. Under marginal costing, our efforts are directed towards earning more and more contribution. So the word, this is a new word that we are discussing. We have discussed it earlier in somewhat other questions because a passing reference of the contribution has come. Even you know a little bit about PV ratio, I believe, right? You know a little bit about PV ratio, yes or no?
Yes.
Because we discussed it at some or other question earlier. But now we are going to understand in full detail what it is. So suppose a cost of making a product. Suppose this is a product and its variable production cost is, let's say, 500 rupees. And when you sell it, you get a selling price of, say, 700 rupees. So can I say that this one output, one unit sold will give me 200 rupees?
Yes.
One more sold will give me another 200 rupees.
Yes.
Yes.
So every unit sold will add to my profit by 200 rupees.
Yes.
Yes.
But when I said the cost is 500, I never considered fixed cost, correct?
Yes.
I'm talking about sales minus variable cost. So I'm talking about sales minus variable cost. Now, when I'm saying sale minus variable cost, there might be some selling cost which is variable also. There might be some administration cost which is variable, which also we will deduct. Right?
Yes.
However, when it comes to production, suppose this is unsold stock, then selling variable expenses will anyway not be incurred. Do you agree?
Yes.
If there are variable selling expenses, those would be incurred only when this will be sold.
Yes.
If this is in inventory not yet sold, then anyway the variable selling expenses has for this unit not incurred yet. So no question about including them in the inventory anyway arises. So what I'm trying to say is variable cost can be of two types. One, variable inventoriable cost, and two, variable costs which are not included in the value of inventory, but they're still variable because for every unit sold they are to be incurred, but not at the time of production. This, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the contribution. Forget about the inventory for the time being. So I'm saying one unit of this sold gives me 200 rupees contribution. Okay, but this contribution, while calculating contribution, I did not consider fixed cost at all. Yes or no?
Yes.
So, however, for determining my profit, should I consider the fixed cost or not? Of course, yes. Because suppose my fixed cost is 10 lakh rupees. Okay, factory rent, insurance, and all other things. 10 lakh rupees is my fixed cost. Then I'm getting 2,000 rupees from every pen sold. My first objective would be to reach a level of contribution where my fixed costs are recovered. Do you agree or not?
Yes.
Yes.
अगर मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन जो मैं सेल कर पा रहा हूं, अगर मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन फिक्स कॉस्ट से कम है, तो rather I should close my plant, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Once I reach a point where my fixed costs are recovered, मतलब 2,000 रुपया, 2,000 रुपया, 2,000, 2,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, I go on earning contribution. I reach a level where my fixed costs are recovered. After that, whatever I sell would be purely my net profit, means a contribution.
Yes, sir.
On the unit sold subsequent to that level would purely by maybe a net profit. You must agree to this. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes,
that's
sir.
how, this is what we called as cost volume profit analysis, CVP analysis. So I'll tell you once again. This level where suppose I started selling and this is my fixed cost. I started selling. I touch a point where my fixed costs are recovered. That would be a no profit, no loss situation. You should agree to this.
Yes. Yes, sir.
This level is nothing but break even point. इसको हम क्या बोलेंगे?
Break even point.
We will come to a detailed presentation anyway, but right now you should understand this. This level is a break even point. Now any subsequent sale I start moving up. Now ये जो gap आपको दिख रहा है, this sale will return certain contribution to you again, 200 rupees per unit or 2000 rupees, whatever it is. Yes or no?
Yes.
And this contribution, because your fixed cost you have already recovered, now this contribution from this sale will give you profit.
Yes.
Okay, so understand this. This is nothing but a margin. So even if my sales fall by up to this level, I'm not worried, because at least I'm not at loss.
Yes, sir.
So this is a margin which I can play with. But if the sale is going below this, I'm worried.
Yes.
So this is nothing but cost volume profit analysis, as simple as that. So marginal costing is helpful. If you are applying marginal costing, it helps. One thing is very clear. It helps you in cost volume profit analysis. It helps you in analyzing when you reach a break-even point. What is the expected sale above break-even point? So what is the expected profitability? What is a margin you can play with? Means up to certain level, even if the sale falls up to certain level, you can still be at a profit, or at least you will achieve a no profit no loss situation at what level. And this cost volume profit analysis is possible if you are applying marginal costing technique. So first thing, marginal costing is not just a different way of doing a cost sheet. It really helps in cost volume profit analysis. But not only that, I will tell you, this helps in various types of decision making. Management takes various decisions. Suppose, for example, you have a factory which is already set up, which is already running, and certain capacity of the factory is unutilized. Okay, and just imagine a situation where you already have a running factory and certain capacity of that factory or machine, whatever, is unutilized capacity. You are aware of this terminology. What is the meaning of unutilized capacity, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now we have to take a decision. Suppose you get some offer. Okay, you get some offer from a prospective customer that you produce this much for us and we are ready to buy it for this price. And you can utilize your unutilized capacity. Hitherto unutilized capacity can be used for that, and you can manufacture that product and sell it. Okay. So for example, now in this example, let us come to the numbers now. Suppose, and don't worry about the notes, I'll give you everything in writing. Okay.
Yes.
I believe you are not worried about that. कि sir, सिर्फ आप ऐसे बताते जा रहे हो, or nothing is there. Don't worry, everything will come. Okay, just understand this. Suppose your fixed cost of the entire factory is 10 lakh rupees. 10 lakh rupees per annum. Hypothetically, I'm just simplifying the example. And let's say 25% is the unutilized capacity. So you may say that 2,50,000 is a cost of unutilized capacity, fixed cost. Suppose 25%. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now, one thing, understand, suppose you get an offer that you produce certain things using your unutilized capacity, and not necessarily entire 25%. Out of that, they say only 10% needs to be used for fulfilling that order. You get a new order, suppose. Then, will you consider the fixed cost of 2,50,000 while taking the decision, or you will not consider it? So I'll make the example more specific. Okay. Suppose you need to utilize 10% of your capacity. So can we say that the cost of that 10%, fixed cost of that 10% capacity utilization is 1 lakh, hypothetically?
Yes, sir.
So 1 lakh आपका fixed cost है. Okay. And the contribution which you are expected to get is 50,000 rupees. How much contribution you are expected to get?
50,000.
50,000 rupees. Should you accept the offer or you shouldn't?
Reject the offer.
Reject. Any other answer?
Sir, please repeat.
I'm saying you have a certain unutilized capacity and the fixed cost of that unutilized capacity is 1 lakh rupees. You have an offer from one of your prospective buyer that he offers you to use that 10% capacity and sell the certain products to him or certain jobs. And you expect a contribution of 50,000 rupees from that sale. Should you accept the offer or shouldn't?
Accept the offer.
You should accept the offer.
Yes, Rugved also says, Onkar also says, Sakshi also says accept the offer. Only Karuna says you reject the offer. Okay, so Aditya, since I'm asking you because your audio is on, so tell me why you should accept this offer. Is it not a
Sir,
loss?
when we are using the marginal costing system, we do not consider the fixed cost.
It's not about the which system you use. If this decision is to be taken consciously, whichever method you follow, Aditya, you will accept this offer.
Okay, sir.
Because Rugved has just said what I was about to say. 1 lakh rupee fixed cost will anyway be incurred whether you utilize that 10% or you do not utilize that 10% capacity. Karuna, do you agree to this?
Yes, sir.
Because that is a period cost and not a product cost. Even when you are not producing anything, you are still incurring that 1 lakh rupees. Only under absorption costing, it is apportioned in a different way. That's a different aspect altogether, but it's a cash outflow anyway that is happening. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
And if that is anyway happening, it's kind of a sunk cost, which we do not consider. And if I'm getting a 50,000 contribution, that is nothing but addition of 50,000 rupees to my profit. Yes?
Yes, sir.
So this offer should be accepted. So I just simplified the example. There are various such kind of decisions which are needed to be taken. And if you are applying a marginal costing concept, the decision making really can be done only using this concept. Make or buy decisions, whether to produce or not to produce, shut down or run, various kinds of decisions can be taken based on this concept. So that's the marginal costing is all about. Okay, it helps you decision making in various kinds of decisions. Now coming to what we are going to learn at CA Inter level, we are going to learn basically cost volume profit analysis, which is the main crux that we are going to learn, which is also called as a break-even analysis, and some simple questions on decision making, not very complex ones, but the simple ones, because complex ones will be dealt with at a CA final level. That's what the syllabus says. So we'll deal with the simple questions. Fair enough. So you have understood right now that how a decision is to be made. For decision making, in a very simple manner, we can say that we ignore fixed cost and we consider only marginal cost. But one more thing, we are not yet clear about the definition of marginal cost. Does marginal cost simply means variable cost, or what it is exactly? So when we say marginal cost, generally we can say it is a variable cost. Yes, but a more appropriate thing would be it is a cost of selling one more unit. That is a marginal cost. So for example, suppose cost of or producing one more unit. Suppose you produced 1,000 units and your cost is 10,000 rupees. You produced one more unit, okay, 1,000 first unit, and your now cost is 10,050 rupees. Then the marginal cost of that one unit you produced is 50 rupees. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
So essentially it is a variable cost, but it has a different perspective, and we shall see the presentation also. And why am I saying this? Because there are sometimes there may be a step variable costs. Okay, there could be step variable costs. For example, there might be certain cost which change after every 100 units. Yes or no?
Yes.
Or you are
Yes.
in a batch processing, then for every batch you need a machine setup. And suppose batch size is 100. Then if you produce 120 units, only 120 units, then there would be 2 machine setups, because
Yes.
you can produce only 100 suppose in one machine setup. Then even for 20 units you need to do another machine setup.
Yes.
Yes.
So this setup cost is in this matter is kind of, for if you go by per unit basis, it is a step variable cost.
Yes, sir.
But from a batch perspective, it is purely variable cost. But if we are talking about the marginal cost, then generally we do not include the step variable cost. Purely unit variable cost is considered as a marginal cost. But if we are thinking from a batch perspective, it is treated as a variable cost. So there is a very thin line of difference between marginal and variable. We will do that. So basically direct costing is a little different from marginal costing, because a cost may be direct on unit basis, per unit basis. It may be a direct per batch, or it may be a direct for a product line. So direct costing is something little different from marginal costing. So are you ready for the presentation now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll quickly go through the presentation. Is not very difficult as such. Marginal cost, as understood in economics, is the incremental cost of production which arises due to 1 unit increase in the production quantity. A very straightforward statement, isn't it?
Yes.
As we understood, variable costs have direct relationship with the volume of output, and fixed costs remain constant irrespective of the volume of production. This we discussed. Hence, marginal cost is measured by total variable cost attributable to 1 unit. For example, the total cost of producing 10 units and 11 units of a product is 10,000 and 10,500 respectively. The marginal cost for the 11th unit is 500 rupees. Yes?
Yes.
So marginal cost can be precisely be the sum of the prime cost and variable overhead. So prime cost plus variable overhead is marginal cost. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
So that's a concept of marginal cost. Now, what is direct costing? And slight difference between direct costing and marginal costing. Direct costing and marginal costing is used synonymously at various places, and it is so also. It is true also in most of the cases. But the relation of cost with respect to the activity level must be understood. Some costs are variable at batch level but fixed for unit level, and likewise variable at production line level. So suppose, for example, if there are 2 products A and B. If you are producing A, certain costs are definitely incurred. If you do not produce A, those costs are not there. So those costs are direct cost at production line level. But is it a marginal cost? Obviously no, because once you decide to produce A and you start producing A as your finished goods, those costs are incurred. But for every unit of A, whether those costs are incurred? No. So those are direct for a production line, but not per unit level. Similarly, setup costs are direct for a batch, but not for a unit level. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
This concept is important because sometimes in decision making, this might have to be used. So just an example here is, just you can go through 10,000 यूनिट्स का कॉस्ट आपको दिया है और 10,001 यूनिट्स का कॉस्ट दिया है। तो आप देख सकते हो कि फर्स्ट जो मटेरियल है, see this material is unit level direct cost and direct wages, variable overheads, ये सारे हैं यूनिट लेवल के। Now this machine setup is a batch level direct cost but not a unit level one, and these cost purely fixed because these are product level direct cost. So आप एक बैच प्रोड्यूस करो, 10 बैचेस प्रोड्यूस करो, 10,000 यूनिट प्रोड्यूस करो या 20,000 यूनिट प्रोड्यूस करो, certain overheads are remain to certain costs are going to remain fixed. Only if you do not produce at all, you decide not to produce at all, then these costs may not be incurred, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So you understood what is the meaning of direct costing?
Yes, sir.
So we'll go ahead. Is marginal cost the same as incremental cost or differential cost? Sometimes in our discussion we had discussed those two terminologies, incremental cost, differential cost, right? Or yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell someone? Forget about marginal cost, just tell me what is incremental cost or what is differential cost. So it's like this, I'll tell you little quick. Incremental cost हम जब बोलते हैं, when we talk about incremental cost, it's when you increase a volume, okay, from one level to another level, not necessarily one unit. You increase the volume by say 15% increase in volume, 20% increase in volume. And because of the increase in volume, the total increase in the cost or increase in the total cost, if you are comparing that with the earlier cost, then it is called as an incremental cost. Is it clear what is incremental
Yes.
cost?
Yes, sir.
Differential cost is something like this. Differential cost again is the similar to incremental cost, but it is not necessarily incremental. It may be decremental also.
Yes.
Or simply comparing two alternatives, alternate one, alternate two, and you are arriving at a difference. And cost of any one may be higher or lower. So from alternate one to alternate two, you move. The cost may be lower than alternate one or higher than alternate one, and there the difference is called as a differential cost. You get it? In what is
Yes,
incremental cost and what is differential cost? Now necessarily they are different from marginal cost, because when we are talking about marginal cost, we are talking about one unit change. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
We are talking about one unit
One
change.
unit.
Okay, so this, let's quickly go through this. Differential cost is the difference between the cost of two different production levels. It is a relative representation of the cost of two different levels, either increase or decrease. It can be both, or sometimes even two different alternatives also. Incremental cost, on the other hand, is the increase in the cost due to change in the volume or process of production activities. Marginal cost is the change in the total cost due to the production of one extra unit, while incremental cost can be both for increase in one unit or total volume. So in the example 2 जो हमने पहले अभी example देखा, इसमें 1220 is the incremental cost of producing one extra unit, but not the marginal cost. Let me go back to the example. See this example. 1220 is incremental cost, yes or no?
Yes.
But is it a marginal cost? No. Only 20 rupees is a marginal cost. Because for the entire
Yes.
batch, this 1200 is like a fixed cost when it comes to a unit level, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So now we start our discussion about cost and profit statement. Only the format. Okay, let's only talk about the format. A little different format of the cost sheet under marginal costing or profitability statement. We start with the revenue. Okay, we start with the revenue and then we deduct all the product costs. So product cost necessarily means marginal cost, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm doing is 1, 2, 3, 4 direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, and variable manufacturing overheads or variable production overheads. I'm reducing and I'm calling them product inventoriable cost because first thing they are marginal cost, no doubt. And if output is unsold, these costs will be included in the value of inventory. That's why I'm calling them product inventoriable cost. You understand the meaning of this terminology? Product inventoriable cost, all of you guys? Yes?
Yes.
So they call, once we deduct the product inventoriable cost, they call it product contribution margin. But this is not very important for us. Contribution margin is really important for us. So
Yes.
from product contribution margin, we will further deduct variable admin overheads and variable selling and distribution overheads. Now, these are also marginal costs for selling. When we talking about sale, these are variable costs, these are marginal costs, no doubt about it. Only thing is, these are not included in the value of inventory. If some inventory is there, these admin and selling are not included. That's why little distinction, but these are also product cost in the sense when the product is sold, this is definitely a variable cost. Do you get it?
Yes.
And then we deduct the period cost, that is fixed manufacturing expenses as well as fixed other expenses, maybe non-manufacturing, and we arrive at the profit. So in a very simple format, if I simplify this format, it's like sales minus variable cost gives you contribution minus fixed cost gives you profit. It's as simple as that. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
I want you to quickly just write this format in your notebook,
Yes, sir.
please. And tell me once it is done. Tell me once done.
Done, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Okay. So generally, if at all we have to prepare a cost and profitability statement, but this is not a hard and fast format. You can just apply a even easier format. And in this format, obviously, there is no mention of opening as well as closing inventory. If it is there, before calculation of contribution margin, we will add opening inventory, we will deduct closing inventory, and then this product cost we will deduct from revenue. So basically we will be deducting cost of sales as we normally do if there is inventory. But here only thing is inventory will not be valued at total cost, but inventory would be valued only at marginal cost or only at variable cost. That's a basic difference. And then at the end we'll deduct all the fixed expenses, manufacturing as well as non-manufacturing. Means there would be maybe fixed administration expenses, fixed selling expenses also, which also we shall deduct. So with this format, we'll go ahead and we will briefly look at the distinction between absorption and marginal costing. And yes, if theory question comes on a distinction between absorption and marginal costing, that is covered in your theory notes. Okay. See, in absorption costing, it happens like this. Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, variable factory overheads, and fixed factory overheads. FOH means here factory overheads are charged to cost of goods produced. Okay, and they are charged as an expenses when the goods are sold. Means cost of goods produced ultimately gets transferred to the cost of goods sold or cost of sales. But if the stock remains, it remains in inventory. Otherwise, it gets transferred to the cost of sales. And admin and selling and distribution overheads are charged as expenses. They are straightway, they go to the cost sheet when they are incurred. Is this clear? It's a very simple flow. We have been doing this time and again.
Yes, sir.
And under marginal costing, what is the difference? Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, and variable factory overheads. So the difference is here. If you notice, there is no fixed factory overheads mentioned here. These only will go to the cost of goods produced and to ultimately cost of sales when sold. And here the fixed overheads come. Factory overheads fixed come here. Admin overheads and selling and distribution, again this is fixed, obviously fixed, I must say, because if variable are there, admin and selling and distribution overheads, if variable will go to cost of sales. Just I said it's a general, in brief, to grasp the difference between absorption and marginal costing, this chart is prepared. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So we'll go ahead. Cost volume profit analysis, as I said, is the crux. ठीक है ना? तो जरा इसको हम समझते हैं. इसका है एक हम एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं, इलस्ट्रेशन लेते हैं. ओके?
Yes.
I have taken a very different and simple example of a thali restaurant serving one type of thali. Okay? एक ही किस्म की थाली, for the sake of simplicity I am assuming. It's not that marginal costing can be applied only when there is one type of product, but for the sake of simplicity, let's assume this. So this is a restaurant. I hope you are not hungry. And costs and revenue per thali, making charges including material labor is 75 rupees per thali. Mayuri is putting so many question marks. What happened, Mayuri? So 75 rupees is our cost. Okay. So simple thali, and selling price The entity is also not keeping a very high margin, a thin margin, 25 rupees margin उन्होंने रखा है. So they have a socio-economic purpose, let's assume. So selling price is 100 rupees per thali. Are the facts clear?
Yes, sir.
हम लोग थाली 100 रुपए में बेच रहे हैं और एक थाली के लिए जो हमारा खर्चा है वो 75 रुपीज है. तो फिक्स कॉस्ट क्या है हमारा? ये अभी जो हमने रेस्टोरेंट देखा उसका फिक्स कॉस्ट भी तो होगा. तो दीज आर द फिक्स कॉस्ट. लीज चार्जेस, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट फिक्स्ड है, मतलब हमारा फिक्स्ड एम्प्लॉय है, चाहे थाली एक हम बेचे या 10 बेचे उसको सैलरी देना ही पड़ेगा 2 लाख रुपया. Because making charges are separate, this is a management kind of employee things. Housekeeping है, other cash fixed cost है, and depreciation on furniture. So total 3,30,000 is our fixed cost per month. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
3,30,000 हमारा है fixed cost और हमारा selling price है 100 rupees थाली का और थाली making charges है 75 rupees. Now you guys tell me, to cover my fixed cost, how much thalis I should sell? Just calculate yourself and tell me.
4,400.
How much, Karuna? Repeat.
4,400.
13,200 most of the other people are calculating, and I think 13, I don't know how, Karuna, you calculated 4,400. How did you calculate that? No, just you made some calculation error. Mayuri, no. 13,200 which most of you are getting is correct. It's simple. Every thali sold gives you 25 rupees. Do you agree or not?
Yes.
So ऐसे आप 25 कमाते जाओगे तो 3,30,000 तक कब पहुंचोगे? Just it is 3,30,000 divided by 25 rupees. 13,200. Yes?
Yes, sir.
When you sell 13,200 thalis, which most of you got it correct, your contribution is 13,200 into 25. 3,30,000 आपका क्या हो जाएगा? Fixed cost cover हो जाएगा.
Yes.
Then can I say that my break-even point is 13,200 thalis?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But this is break-even point in terms of number of units. If I have to calculate this break-even point in terms of sales revenue, then it would be 13,200 into 100, which is 13,20,000. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is nothing but a cost volume profit analysis. I'll tell you how. Okay, let's say in this case, 25 rupees is contribution per unit.
Yes.
Yes.
And 3,30,000 is fixed cost.
Yes.
So can I say, okay, so what I'll do is I'll just have another this thing. Just give me a second. Okay, so coming back, so we'll make certain conclusions. Okay, our conclusion 1 is that contribution per unit is equal to 25 rupees. Yes or no? Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. And this is nothing but selling price or sales minus variable cost. Yes.
Yes.
My fixed cost is 3,30,000 per month.
Yes.
And
Yes, sir.
my break-even point in units, which I did not calculate, you only calculated, is 13,200. Yes,
Yes.
So,
because 13,200 when I sell, I get a contribution of 13,200 into 25, which is 3,30,000, which is equal to my fixed cost.
Yes.
So I'm saying I'm making few statements. Statement number one is that when contribution is equal to fixed cost, that is a break-even point. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
When
Yes, sir.
contribution is equal to fixed cost, that is a break-even point. That is number one. Number two, fixed cost upon contribution per unit is also break-even point. Fixed cost upon
Yes.
contribution per unit. Now in this case, if you see, it is, in this case, 3,30,000 is your fixed cost and 25 rupees is your contribution per unit. 3,30,000 divided by 25 is nothing but what? BEP units.
13,000. Yes.
Yes, 13,200.
Yes, sir.
Okay. At break-even point, I am basically in no profit, no loss situation
Yes.
because my profit is nothing but contribution. Profit is nothing but contribution minus fixed cost. Yes or no?
Yes.
And at break even, my contribution is also 3,30,000 rupees and fixed cost is also 3,30,000 rupees. So I am at a no profit, no loss situation. So break even point is essentially a no profit, no loss situation.
Yes.
Okay. Now, suppose we are talking in terms of units or number of thalis. Let's talk in terms of rupees. Let's talk in terms of rupees. Don't write anything yet. I'll give everything, all the formula will write. Let's talk in terms of rupees. So suppose my BEP units was, because we are using Zoom app, I really sometimes find it difficult to use the pen, is 13,200. Suppose I multiply that by selling price. How much it is? 13,20,000.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is we call as BEP value.
Yes.
Means BEP in terms of rupee sales. Okay. You get it, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
now,
sir.
Now there is one very important ratio that we calculate, and I'm going to write it here. Just use a different color. We call it PV ratio. P/V it is. It is P/V ratio, that is profit volume ratio. Just repeat it. Profit volume ratio. Clear? What this ratio is, I'll tell you. In our case, for every 100 rupees sales, I am getting 25 rupees contribution.
Yes.
So for every 100 rupees increase in volume, my increase in profit is 25 rupees.
Yes.
Because
Yes,
more
sir.
contribution means more profit.
Yes.
So I'm saying my PV ratio is 25%.
Yes.
So PV
Yes.
ratio is nothing but contribution upon
Divided by
sales.
sales.
And because if you have to express it in terms of percentage, you multiply it by 100.
Into 100.
Or in other words, it is sales minus variable cost upon sales into 100. Because contribution is nothing but sales minus variable cost.
Yes.
So do you get it how we calculate PV ratio, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming back to our question. suppose my fixed cost, why suppose in our question our fixed cost is how much?
3,30,000.
I divide it by 25%. Just do it for me. 3,30,000 divided by 25%.
13,20,000.
2,000.
Which is nothing but my break-even point. Yes?
Yes, sir.
So I am saying that fixed cost upon PV ratio is break-even point. Do you agree?
Yes.
Because आप 25% से कॉस्ट रिकवर कर रहे हो, तो आपको फिक्स कॉस्ट 3,30,000 तक पहुंचने के लिए कितना सेल चाहिए? Obviously, because 30, see it's very simple. 13,20,000 अगर आपका सेल है, तो 13,20,000 into 25% will give you contribution. Yes or no?
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
3,30,000, which is equal to fixed cost.
Yes.
So अगर मेरा ब्रेक इवन सेल्स मल्टीप्लाइड बाय पीवी रेशियो अगर फिक्स कॉस्ट है, तो फिक्स कॉस्ट डिवाइडेड बाय पीवी रेशियो विल गिव मी ब्रेक इवन सेल्स. All of you get it? Fixed cost upon
Yes.
PV ratio is why it is equal to break even sales. Yes? Just let me know whether you have understood this. Okay. We will further analyze it. We will analyze it further. So you can tell me, Karuna, you can tell me, just tell me one number. 13,200 is your break even. So what is your expectation? How much estimated number of thalis you are expected to sell?
15,000.
So assume 15,000. Okay. Suppose you target 15,000 units, means in our case thalis का सेल अगर आप टारगेट करते हो, तो इसका मतलब है आपका सेल है 15 लाख रुपीस. यस करुणा?
Yes. Yes, sir.
और 15 लाख का अगर आप सेल करते हो, तो उसमें 13,20,000 पे आपका ब्रेक इवन हो जाता है.
Yes.
तो 15 लाख माइनस 13,20,000, 1,80,000 का जो आपका सेल होता है, वो उससे आपको प्रॉफिट मिलता है. करेक्ट?
Yes.
सो इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, ध्यान से सुनना, इसको हम बोलते हैं मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी. वी कॉल दिस मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी, बिकॉज even if my sale falls by 1,80,000 rupees, I'm still safe.
Yes.
I will still not end up with the loss. I'll at least recover my fixed cost. So that's why, that means the sale over and above the break-even sale is called as margin of safety. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Guys, all of you, do you understand what is the meaning of margin of safety?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So interestingly now all of you, अगर आपका 15 लाख का सेल है, आपके पास फैक्ट्स आपके दिमाग में क्लियर है, आपका फिक्स कॉस्ट है 3,30,000. एक महीने का हम बोल रहे हैं, पूरे साल का नहीं कैलकुलेट कर रहे, महीने का कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं. मंथली कैलकुलेशन वी आर डूइंग, दैट्स फाइन. 15 लाख इज योर सेल, 100 रुपीज सेलिंग प्राइस पर थाली, 25 रुपीज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन पर थाली, 75 रुपीज वेरिएबल कॉस्ट पर थाली. I just want you to calculate 15 लाख रुपीस पे आपका प्रॉफिट कितना आएगा. जरा कैलकुलेट करके बताएंगे मुझे प्रॉफिट कितना आएगा. ओंकार says 45,000. Just all of you, just please calculate it. Aditya Pendurkar says 3,75,000. Okay. Digvijay says 45,000. All of you must calculate this. Mayuri also calculated 3,75,000. Okay. Sakshi says 45,000. Rugved, Aditya Joshi, Shivraj, all of them are saying 45,000. Monish says 3,75,000. Okay. Now 45,000 profit is correct. Okay. I don't know why a few people calculated 3,75,000. I'll ask you simple question. 15 लाख का आपका सेल है, बराबर गाइस?
Yes.
तो आपका 15 लाख का सेल का मतलब है कि 15 लाख डिवाइडेड बाय 100 विच सिंप्लीफाइड 15 लाख डिवाइडेड बाय 100 रुपीज का सेलिंग प्राइस 15,000 थालीज का सेल हमने लिखा भी है इधर, है ना? 15,000 यूनिट्स हम सेल कर रहे हैं, यस और नो?
Yes.
Yes.
तो 15,000 का सेल आप जब करते हो और एक यूनिट का जब आप सेल करते हो तो आपको 25 रुपया मिलता है, क्योंकि 75 रुपीज इज योर वेरिएबल कॉस्ट, वो तो आपका खर्च हो जाएगा, राइट?
Yes.
तो इसमें
Yes.
से आप इसको मल्टीप्लाई करो 25 रुपीज से और जरा बताओ मुझे कितना मिलता है। तो मिलता है आपको 3,75,000। सम ऑफ पीपल सेड 3,75,000 इज माय प्रॉफिट। नो, दैट्स नॉट माय प्रॉफिट गाइस। इसमें से फिक्स कॉस्ट भी तो लेस करनी पड़ेगी,
Yes.
विच इज 3,30,000 और बचेगा 45,000। आपने फिक्स कॉस्ट लेस नहीं करी है जिन्होंने 3,75,000 कैलकुलेट करा है। यू गेट इट
Yes,
गाइस?
sir. Yes.
तो आपका प्रॉफिट 45,000 होना चाहिए। दिस मच यू शुड एग्री।
Yes.
Yes,
now,
sir.
now what I'm writing, please focus on this, okay? Or let me write it just here, clear this. I'm saying जो मेरा सेल है which is 15 lakh is equal to मेरा break even point which is 13.2 lakh, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Plus margin of safety which is 1.8 lakh. तो मेरा जो सेल है उसमें से पहले मेरा ब्रेक इवन हो जाएगा और ब्रेक इवन के बाद मेरा जो है उसको मैं बोलता हूं मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी। सो आई एम सेइंग टोटल सेल इज इक्वल टू ब्रेक इवन सेल प्लस मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी। डू यू एग्री?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
अभी देखो, मैं बोल रहा हूं कि कंट्रीब्यूशन इज इक्वल टू जो मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन टोटल मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन मिलता है। फॉरगेट अबाउट दिस क्वेश्चन, दिस इलस्ट्रेशन। I go on selling, I go on getting contribution, ठीक है? तो कंट्रीब्यूशन में से पहले मैं फिक्स कॉस्ट को रिकवर कर लेता हूं
Yes.
और फिक्स कॉस्ट के बाद जो कंट्रीब्यूशन बचता है उसमें से मुझे मिलता है प्रॉफिट। So can I say that contribution is equal to fixed cost plus net profit?
Yes.
Yes,
Or
sir.
in other words, profit is equal to contribution minus fixed cost, right?
Yes.
Yes.
If contribution is less than fixed cost, profit may be negative, there may be loss.
Yes.
Okay, so when I am saying profit, it may be loss also. Do you agree that
Yes. Yes, sir.
contribution is equal to fixed cost plus net profit? Okay, now tell me how much is the contribution in this particular case? Is it 3,75,000?
Yes.
15,000 थाली इंटू 25 रुपया 3,75,000, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Is equal to 3,30,000 fixed cost plus 45,000
Yes.
profit. Okay, now sales into PV ratio, जरा कैलकुलेटर पे करके बताए मुझे 15 लाख इंटू 25% क्या आता है?
3,75,000.
25,000.
दैट इक्वल टू कंट्रीब्यूशन।
Yes.
आप और एक चीज करके बताए जरा, ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट इंटू पीवी रेशो करके बताए जरा।
3,30,000.
30,000.
डज दैट इक्वल टू फिक्स कॉस्ट?
Yes.
और एक चीज करके बताए, मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी इनटू पीवी रेशियो जरा करके बताए,
45,000.
इज दैट इक्वल टू नेट प्रॉफिट?
Yes.
अभी फॉर्मूला ही फॉर्मूला है, सेल्स इनटू पीवी रेशियो इज इक्वल टू कंट्रीब्यूशन, ब्रेक इवन सेल्स इनटू पीवी रेशियो इज इक्वल टू फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट, margin of safety into PV ratio is equal to net profit, sale is equal to break even sales plus margin of safety, contribution is equal to fixed cost plus net profit, PV ratio is equal to contribution upon sales,
Sale.
or this might confuse you, PV ratio अगर मुझे निकालना है तो contribution divided by sales करूंगा तो PV ratio मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा?
Yes.
करके देखो कैलकुलेटर पे, 3,75,000 डिवाइडेड बाय 15 लाख, 25% मिलेगा आपको।
Yes, sir.
और फिक्स कॉस्ट अपॉन बीईपी करो तभी भी आपको पीवी रेशियो मिलेगा।
Yes.
और या फिर नेट प्रॉफिट अपॉन मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी करो तभी भी आपको पीवी
Yes,
रेशियो
sir.
मिलेगा।
Yes, sir.
So I am saying contribution upon sales is equal to PV ratio, fixed cost upon BEP is equal to PV ratio, net profit upon margin of safety is also equal to PV ratio, and this is for the simple logic क्योंकि PV ratio is nothing but contribution upon sales, ठीक है। अगर मैं fixed cost upon BEP बोल रहा हूं तो fixed cost is nothing but that part of the contribution which break even sales is giving me।
Yes.
तो
Yes.
अगर फिक्स कॉस्ट अपॉन बीपी कर रहा हूं इसका मतलब मैं कंट्रीब्यूशन अपॉन सेल्स ही कर रहा हूं एक तरीके से।
हाँ.
नेट प्रॉफिट मींस मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी के ऊपर जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है दैट गिव्स मी नेट प्रॉफिट।
Yes.
So when I am saying net profit upon margin of safety, I am also saying it is nothing but contribution upon sale.
Contribution upon sale.
Do you get it, guys?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
there could
sir.
be multiple formulas, and you have to now tell me this illustration. Have you understood, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear, all of you? Digvijay,
Yes.
Archana, Kavita, Mayuri, Monish, Omkar, Rugved, Sakshi, Shivraj, Tejasvi, I don't know, some may not have joined. Clear? Okay, so let me ask you few basic questions. Okay, let me just stop sharing this and you think and tell me. I ask you simple questions. Let me just figure it out first. Means in a sequence I may ask you. Yes. One by one you can start telling me. Okay. Who is there? Abhishek, Abhi Ambekar has joined. No, he's not there. Abhishek Ingre. Abhishek Ingre, you tell me. Just quietly think and tell me. It's very simple questions I'm asking, nothing difficult at all. Sales minus variable cost is equal to. Abhishek. Sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution. Absolutely correct. He says contribution. So first thing is very clear. Sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution. The second question, Aditya Joshi, you tell me. Contribution minus fixed cost is equal to. Profit. He says profit, that's correct. Contribution minus fixed cost is equal to profit. Aditya Pendurkar, has he joined? Are you there, Aditya? Yes. You tell me. Contribution upon sales is equal to. ratio of contribution to sales, what it is called? PV ratio, absolutely correct. Profit volume ratio, he says, that's correct. PV ratio. Then Archana, you tell me. Are you there, Archana? She's there. You tell me, Archana. Fixed cost upon contribution per unit will give me what? Fixed cost upon contribution per unit. Break-even point in terms of units. She says absolutely correct. What Archana you are saying is, but it is BEP units. Correct? Archana, you only tell me. Fixed cost upon PV ratio gives me break-even point. Again, right, Archana? But it is BEP value. Okay, so BEP can be calculated basically by using two methods. One is fixed cost upon PV ratio, आपको सीधा रुपी टर्म्स में BEP मिल जाएगा, और फिक्स कॉस्ट अपॉन कंट्रीब्यूशन पर यूनिट आपको यूनिट्स में BEP मिल जाएगा. आप पहले यूनिट्स में कैलकुलेट करके उसको सेलिंग प्राइस से मल्टीप्लाई करके भी कर सकते हो. क्लियर? ओके. नाउ दिग्विजय,
Yes, sir.
I ask you another question. Now there's a little different question, Digvijay. Suppose they say that let me just do some calculations before I ask you. Just a second, I'm doing one calculation and I'm asking you. Yes, I get it. Suppose Digvijay, it is given to you that when sale is 2,40,000, okay, when sale is 2,40,000, profit means net profit is 18,000. If you want, you can just in your rough book you may note sale 2,40,000, profit 18,000. Clear, Digvijay?
3,000. No, sir.
2,40,000 sale, 18,000 profit, 18. Clear?
Yes, sir.
And one more thing, sale 2,80,000. Now profit increases and it becomes 26,000. Let me write on a chat board also. Say I'm saying sale 2,40,000. तो profit में लिख रहा हूं 26,000. Oh, sorry, 18,000. I'm wrong. 18,000. 2,40,000 अगर सेल है तो प्रॉफिट 18,000 है. सेल बढ़ जाता है अगर 2,80,000 हो जाता है, 2,80,000 अगर सेल हो जाता है तो प्रॉफिट है 26,000. Digvijay, can you find out PV ratio?
%20.
How did you calculate?
Difference in sales is 40,000 and difference in profit is 8,000.
Do you all of you agree? He says 20% is the PV ratio
Yes, sir.
because
Yes, sir.
he says when your sales increased by 40,000 rupees, your profit increased by 8,000 rupees. That means 8,000 is a contribution received from 40,000. Digvijay, that's what you are saying, correct?
Yes, yes.
So that means 8,000 upon 40,000, that is 20%. Yes.
Yes.
So can we say that change in profit upon change in sales is also PV ratio?
Yes.
That is our another formula. Change in profit upon change in sales is PV ratio. So I ask, who is next? Karuna, I ask you another question. Suppose in our question, when PV ratio is 25%, what is, in our question only, when thali 100 rupees sale hai, variable cost is given 75. What is a VC ratio, variable cost ratio, Karuna? Karuna, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what is our variable cost ratio?
$75%.
75% is our variable cost. So very simple, because when your sale is 100 rupees, variable cost is 75. So 75% is a variable cost ratio, VC ratio. Now I ask you one more question, Karuna. 1 minus variable cost ratio is equal to what?
1 minus
Variable cost ratio, 1 minus VC ratio.
profit.
No, 1 minus 75% is PV ratio, isn't it? That will give you 25%.
Yes.
All of you guys, have you understood? 1 minus
Yes.
variable cost ratio is equal to PV ratio.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Karuna, I ask you another question. 1 minus PV ratio is equal to?
Variable cost ratio.
Yes, variable cost ratio, because variable cost ratio plus PV ratio is equal to always 100% or 1.
Yes.
Sale can be broken up into two parts. One part is variable cost, another part is contribution. As simple as that. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And I'm telling you, it's not because I enjoy creating various formula out of this. Under different situations, different formula may need to be used.
Yes.
So that's why these so many formulas. So we will now start writing one after another. Let me go back to my presentation. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So our question was, at what amount of sales break even is achieved, and we calculated this way. Again, I am just repeating the same thing. Total fixed cost is 3,30,000. Every thali sold gives us a contribution of 25 rupees. So number of thali sold for covering the fixed cost would be 13,200, which most of you calculated, almost all of you. So amount of sales for break even is equal to 13,200 into 100 rupees, 13,20,000. This I don't think that any doubt is there in your mind.
Yes.
So you now start writing formulas, please. In your notebook, you may use blue ink pen. Formula number 1, you write sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution. That is you give it number 1. And just you may elaborate like this. I'll show you. Here you show like this, contribution, you show here fixed cost and net profit. Okay. This you give number 1. Tell me when formula number 1 is written by you. Don't write formula number 2 yet, only write formula number 1.
Done, sir.
Okay, don't write 2 yet. I'll tell you when to write. So 2 conclusions that we made were BEP units is equal to fixed cost upon contribution per unit. Do you agree?
Yes.
And the second conclusion is BEP value is equal to fixed cost upon PV ratio.
Yes.
BEP units और BEP value में फर्क क्या है? This is in terms of number of units and this is in terms of amount.
Yes.
Of sales revenue. Okay. So this is our calculation. Contribution BEP units is 3,30,000 upon 25 and BEP value is 3,30,000 upon 25%. And we also discussed what is margin of safety, right? We took a budgeted sale of 15 lakh, but assume it is 25 lakh. Then the margin of safety is equal to 11,80,000.
Yes.
This means that even if the sale decreases by 11,80,000, there would still be no loss. Every unit sold over and above 13,200 units would add to the profit of the restaurant. Is that correct? You get what is margin of safety?
Yes.
And a short form we use is M/S for margin of safety. This is a short form. Now, a break even, there is a little difference between break even and cash break even. Okay. In the example that we discussed, there was a depreciation of 30,000 rupees. Let me take you back to the example real quick. देखो फिक्स कॉस्ट देखो आप, इसमें डेप्रिसिएशन 30,000 का है.
Yes.
अगर हमको
Yes,
कैश ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट निकालना है, कैश ब्रेक इवन, बट दिस इज अ नॉन कैश एक्सपेंडिचर. डू यू एग्री?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So if we have to find out the cash break even, we will not consider non cash expenditure. Is that clear?
Yes.
So in that case we will take only 3 lakh as fixed cost.
Fixed cost.
अगर हम 3 लाख फिक्स कॉस्ट लेके ब्रेक इवन निकालते हैं तो उसको हम बोलेंगे कैश ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट. पूरी फिक्स कॉस्ट लेके ब्रेक इवन निकालते हैं, इट इज अ नॉर्मल ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट. इज इट क्लियर द डिफरेंस बिटवीन कैश ब्रेक इवन?
Yes, sir.
So let me go ahead. So what is a cash break even? Total cash fixed cost is 3 lakh. Every thali sold gives a contribution of 25. So number of thalis sold for covering the cash fixed cost is 12,000. And amount of sales for cash break even is 12 lakh rupees. So I'm saying that if I sell 12,000 thalis, at least there will not be cash loss.
Yes.
There will be a loss, but that will be purely depreciation loss.
Yes.
Clear, guys? What is cash break even?
Yes.
Yes.
You need not write the illustration. I'll share this file with you anyway, so you will have it. You can write it if you want later on.
Okay.
But even if you don't write, I don't think there would be a big problem because it's very easy. So
Yes, sir.
now the first formula you have already written. Sales minus variable
Yes.
cost is equal to contribution, and contribution is split into fixed cost and net profit, right?
Yes, sir.
Now the second part you write. PV ratio, you have 4 different ways of calculating PV ratio. First, you must agree that PV ratio is equal to contribution upon sales into 100,
Yes.
or it is fixed cost upon BEP value. Obviously, into 100, you should write here also.
Yeah.
Into 100, if you have to express in terms of percentage, yes. Or it
Yes.
is net profit upon margin of safety, or it is change in profit upon change in sales.
Sales.
Okay, just write this, and here you have to mention refer 4, and here you have to mention refer 6. Why 4 and 6? Because it will be coming from that. I'll tell you that. You first write this. Tell me once this is done.
Done, sir.
Then you can write the third one. BEP units is equal to fixed cost upon contribution per unit.
Done, sir.
Okay. Then the next one, BEP value is equal to fixed cost upon PV ratio, or it is fixed cost upon contribution into sales, because contribution by sales is PV ratio. You are dividing by PV ratio, means it is into sales upon contribution. It's one and the same. Done?
Yes, sir.
Now in formula number 2, you have mentioned refer 4. आपने लिखा है ऊपर refer 4
Yes.
करके. वो क्यों लिखा है
Yes,
पता
sir.
चला अभी? Why you have mentioned there refer 4? Because that is a formula
Yes.
derived from this 4.
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead. Please write this. Margin of safety is equal to sales minus BEP.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Okay. Next is sales is equal to BEP plus margin of safety. Sales को अगर PV रेशियो से मल्टीप्लाई करो तो कंट्रीब्यूशन मिलता है, BEP को PV रेशियो से मल्टीप्लाई करो तो फिक्स कॉस्ट मिलता है, और मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी को PV रेशियो से मल्टीप्लाई करो तो नेट प्रॉफिट मिलता है. And in formula 2 we have mentioned refer 6. Why we have mentioned refer 6? Because PV ratio कैलकुलेट करने के लिए हम नेट प्रॉफिट अपॉन मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी ये इक्वेशन भी यूज कर सकते हैं.
Done, sir.
Okay. The last one is 1 minus PV ratio is equal to VC ratio. VC ratio is variable cost ratio, and 1 minus variable cost ratio is equal to PV ratio. Done?
Yes, sir.
So we will take 5 minutes break.
Okay.